Shalom family, trendsetter. Driving, you will hear some noise in the background. Now in a minute I'm going to show you a clip from Young Turks pretty much exposing Kushner, right, the son-in-law of Donald Trump, that he owns a lot of units in Baltimore, the same Baltimore that your commanding fucking thief basically states that it's infested. Now the properties that Kushner owns, the Kushner family or foundation, whatever the fuck they want to call themselves, owns, are the one in fact that's infested. So what Donald Trump is really saying is that his son-in-law residents that they own in Baltimore are infested, not because of the people or the tenant, is because you have surrounding restaurants, and you know, when you have businesses that have food, they're going to attract rodents. And if you are a good landlord, you will make sure you do everything in your power to upkeep your building. But because it's in Baltimore, predominantly black, a black community that rents or lease or whatever from the family, the Kushner family or foundation or corporation, they could care less. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the reasons why I'm putting on the record. This is why I hate these motherfuckers. I do. I hate them. Not all of them, but most of them. Because they first hate me. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to stay tuned for the clip that follows this brief commentary. So what I've noticed about these fucking devils, okay? And if the shoe fit, you can wear it. Is that they like to deflect. They have the rhesus monkey DNA. They call us monkeys. If you was to put a fucking rhesus monkey next to one of them, it'll be hard for you to, distinguish, I should say, which one is the monkey. So they like to deflect. They came from the caves. You know what I'm saying? The Moors discovered these hairy bastards and shaved them, domesticated them. And because they was endowed with this tricknology, they have this ability, which is referred to as tricknology. They have this ability to also manipulate. Very good at manipulation. That's why I call them the fucking devil, because the devil just means deceiver. They're very manipulative. And what they do, they deflect. They're good at deflecting. You know, what's basically pertains to them, they deflect it to us. Just like that word black. Did you know that word initially was directed towards Caucasian, non-melanin skin complexion? The word black doesn't really mean what you think it means. But what they have done, family, I'm telling you, shit is so deep. Every day I learn something new. They have taken that word black and associated to melanated skin complexion people. You know what I'm saying? That word black and white is a construct that was created, you know what I mean, by the so-called Europeans. So they deflected the true meaning of black. I want y'all to do some homework today or whenever you can. I want y'all to really and truly do some research on that word black, and you're going to be surprised where that word black actually came from, who was really directed to. So they gave us the word black, which really means white, okay? And they gave themselves the word white, which because when you think of white, you think of purity, you think of innocent. When you think of black, you think of darkness, ugliness, and so forth. So that's what they have done. They deflected. That's what they are good at. They don't have no originality. I heard on the news today that bitch, what's her name? Damn, I forgot her name. Why did I even bring it up? Because I forgot her name. Anyway, one of them white singers, right? Britney Spears, I think that's her name. Britney Spears. She's being sued and going to court for settlement because she stole, music from a black gospel group. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no originality. Rock and roll was invented by black people. Hip hop, bebop. You know what I'm saying? All this shit that you see that they attribute themselves to was stolen from black folk. We invented music. You know what I mean? So I want y'all to understand, family, that this is why I do not like these motherfuckers, because Donald Trump's talking about Baltimore, but when in fact his fucking son-in-law is the one that owns, they said 900 units in Baltimore, and the area that is actually infested is owned by the Kushners. They've been cited on many occasions. But you'll hear it in the Young Turks video. So stay tuned for that, family. This is why I say, man, the white man is a goddamn devil. They're the face of fucking terrorists, domestic terrorists here in the United Snakes of America. And they've been terrorizing we black people for fucking centuries, and now they turn on their own. This is what they are. They're warmongers by nature. They're like fucking beasts of the field. You know what I mean? And I'm never gonna stop talking about them. I'm never gonna be apologetic when it comes to the so-called white man. Not all of y'all, but like I said, the shoe don't fit, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? But stay tuned, family.
Representative Elijah Cummings, and he blamed the representative for poverty in Baltimore, which was fascinating and also incredibly hypocritical considering the fact that Jared Kushner, his own son-in-law, owns quite a bit of property in Baltimore. Now, since he became a senior White House advisor, he had to supposedly take himself out of that family business. But the Kushner company, again, owns a lot of property that has run into code violations and issues in Baltimore. According to the Washington Post, in 2017, Baltimore County officials revealed that apartments owned by the Kushner firm were responsible for more than 200 code violations, all occurred in the span of that calendar year. Repairs were made only after the county threatened fines, local officials said, and even after warnings, violations on 9 properties were not addressed, resulting in monetary sanctions. There's more. Tenants of the Kushner properties reported mouse infestations, mold problems, and maggots. A private investigator who looked into Kushner's property management company, Westminster Management, described the managers as slumlords.
Now, that is particularly ironic given that Donald Trump tweeted about how Baltimore was rodent infested and filthy. Well, partly due to your family, literally. And the investigations into his property seem to indicate that they are among the worst in the state of Maryland, and that's why they're being called slumlords. So they get sanctioned 17 different times, and in 9 of the cases, they wouldn't fix it no matter what, and they got fined, and even after that, still delays in fixing it, and that's why they call some of the folks who run these low-income properties and put no time and effort into it slumlords. It's not because they're lazy. It's because they don't care about the miserable conditions, and they'd rather take the fine than spend the money to make the conditions bearable. They think these are just poor people. We take their money and we give them nothing in return. They have no power. There's nothing they can do about it. In fact, there's an even worse twist to this story in a second.
So, actually, let's get right to that, because the Kushner company essentially acts as slumlords. They do not take care of these code violations. People are living in squalor because of the mismanagement of the properties. And by the way, they own as many as 9,000 rental units in Baltimore. Well, the Washington Post is reporting that the Kushner firm and its affiliated entities have been sued multiple times by Baltimore area residents who allege that the company has charged them excessive fees and used the threat of eviction to pressure them into paying. So to give you an example of how aggressive Kushner company has been, from 2013 to 2017, corporate entities associated with Kushner Apartments requested the civil arrest of 105 former tenants.
So get a load of this. So they got 17 complexes, 9 of them, even if they're fined, they don't do anything about, and they let people live with maggots in the building. And rodents everywhere in the building, and they don't care. They don't get arrested over that, even though they won't do what the government told them to do. Bare minimum sanitary conditions, right? Then they turn around, and if for some reason they think you didn't pay the excessive fines that they imposed on you in the building, they say, I want the government to arrest that person. Now, I said, wait a minute, you can't get arrested for having private debts. If you owe the government money, you can be arrested, but you can't be arrested if you owe a private citizen or a company money. So how are they doing this? Ironically, it's the swamp. So what they do is they go to the government and they say, this guy hasn't paid me, and have him show up in court. And folks, oftentimes, they don't even live there anymore. That's why they're former tenants. They get the notice about the court appearance in the wrong place, etc. They don't show up. If they don't show up twice, they go, aha, That's the loophole I needed. See, that was an offense against the government for not showing up in court. So I'm going to do what's called a body attachment, which sounds terrible. And I'm going to have you arrested for the money you owe me privately. I'm going to use the power of the government not to fix your apartment, not to fix your housing, but to arrest you afterwards.
Right.
So you're taking both your life into your own hands, given how unsanitary Kushner's buildings are, if you ever live in them. But afterwards, you're also taking your liberty into play here. Because if you have a dispute over what you owe him, he'll have you arrested by his thugs. And then using the government for their own private gains, they have no problem with that. Complying with government regulations for sanity? No way they're going to do that. And then they'll turn around and have Trump talk about how Baltimore is rodent infested and dirty. Yes, thanks to your dirty, miserable family.
And I just want to give you the statement from Kushner Co. because, it's let's be fair. The Washington Post did reach out to them, and they did give a statement, and it says the following. Kushner Companies is proud to own thousands of apartments in the Baltimore area.
Oh, wow.
That was their statement. They don't care about people living in squalor. The Trump administration does not care about poverty. They don't care about any of it. What Trump has done successfully in 2016 and what he will continue to do, hopefully people are smart enough to catch on at this point, is pretend like he cares. He exploits all of the different systems in place that keep people in poverty. He loves it, and he'll continue